everybody, my name is Sarah and I work here in our Wildlife Connections department. This morning we're in our Natural Encounters building here at the Houston Zoo, right in front of our Asian small-clawed otter exhibit. And I'd love to introduce you to our two Asian small-clawed otters. We have Dantu and Athena. Dantu is our 14-year-old male and Athena is our 5-year-old female. Now these two are a mated pair and they love to have so much fun together. So you can see right now they're interacting with a lot of different enrichment that they have. So these types of otters are really fun. They like to explore their environment with their hands rather than their noses or their faces like other otter species. So you'll see them using their hands a lot to kind of explore different things and hold their food. Now today they're getting a variety of different items. So they get things like different clams, shrimp, fish. They get all sorts of different types of fish. They also have a lot of bugs as well. So you'll see we have some live crickets that they get to hunt. And then they also have some mealworms that are in enrichment as well. Now these otters are found in areas of southern China, Indonesia, and the Philippines. They like to live in rice paddies, small streams, things like that. And they do live in family groups. So you usually see otters like this in pairs of 2 to 4 groups of otters. And they do like to set up their own territory. So they'll kind of take over a chunk of river space and claim it as their own. They use a lot of scent marking to communicate with other otters that this is their territory. These are the smallest of the otter species, and they're aptly named the Asian small-clawed otters. So they don't actually have very long fingernails on their feet at all. But again, as you can see, they do use their hands a lot to get to their food and explore their environment a lot. Now these guys have a really, really dense coat, so it can get pretty cold where they live. And this dense coat allows them to stay warm when they're diving in the water and be able to keep their skin pretty dry. They have that outer layer of coat that allows them to, get wet and be streamlined in the water. But that really dense undercoat helps keep them nice and warm and cozy so that they can stay healthy. So who you're seeing right now is Dantu, and again, he's our 14-year-old male. These guys can live into their early 20s, so he's a little bit older, but he's still doing really well. He still loves playing on exhibit and interacting with all of his different enrichment items. What he's getting into right now are some fun ice cubes that have mealworms, which is one of their favorite bugs, frozen inside of them. For those of you guys just joining us, we're in our Natural Encounters building here at the Houston Zoo, and we're meeting our Asian small-clawed otters. So you are getting to see Dantu, our 14-year-old male right now. We also have our 5-year-old female Athena, who's also on exhibit. Both of these guys are having a lot of fun right now exploring their exhibit, having a lot of fun finding some food. They're getting different types of fish. They'll get herring, capelin, smelt, all different types of fish. One of their favorites is shrimp. They do get some shrimp every day as well. And then they've also got some fun bugs to play with. So right in front of Athena, she does have some crickets that are crawling around. A lot of times they like to eat all of their fish first before having fun with the bugs. These types of otters really like to explore their environment with their hands. So you'll see as they're walking around looking for food, they're tapping their hands around, trying to feel around under the water or through, into holes in the rocks and everything just to look for their food. They do have those really big whiskers on their faces, and that does help them kind of navigate as they're swimming underwater. Their exhibit does have this really nice stream in it, and there's also an area that has a pretty deep pool that they're able to dive into. We will sometimes put their food or enrichment items in the water so that they do have to dive down and manipulate different items in order to eat, just like they would in their natural environment. These guys are pretty active and busy in general. They like to move around a lot, They're very playful, so they do actually play together. But then they play hard and they sleep hard. So if you come see them at the zoo, if they're not interacting with each other, kind of playing around, definitely take a look across the rock work, because they're probably cuddled up together taking a really good nap. They play hard and nap hard. Now, these guys are really good swimmers. They do spend most of their time on the banks, but they're, again, really good swimmers. So they do spend a lot of time in the water, but they're not otters that live in the water full time or most of the time. So a lot of people are familiar with sea otters who like to float on their backs and kind of link arms together so that they stay together as a group. Because these guys are river otters, they spend a lot of their time on the embankments. They do have a pretty good sense of smell, so they use smell in order to communicate with one another. They do a lot of scent marking and have a very pungent, musky odor that they'll use to communicate with one another and with other otter groups. They are pretty territorial, so they like to set up an area that's just theirs. They lay claim to it, and then they mark it with scent glands to let all the other otters know that this is their space. But of course, because they communicate through scents and odors, they have a pretty good sense of smell too, which allows them to find food, or at least know when food is somewhere. Because they're really good manipulators with their feet, we like to challenge them by putting food in areas where they have to actually utilize that dexterity in order to get them, just like they would in their natural environment, as they would dig under rocks and along river streams to find food items. Now, Dantu and Athena are a mated pair. They have not had any offspring, but that would be our hope, that they're able to produce some offspring for us at some point in the future. But right now, they really enjoy playing together and keeping each other company. This is a very social species, so they do like to live in family groups of anywhere from 2 to 4 otters in their natural environment. We talked about the fact that these guys eat a lot of fish and mollusks and clams, mussels, things along that nature. So these guys are carnivores. They have the teeth to prove it. As cute as they are, they use those teeth to defend themselves whenever they need to. Got very, very sharp teeth. Now, another thing that's really cool about otters, so because they do spend a lot of time in the water and they will dive down pretty deep, they do have what's called a dive response, which means that they can hold their breath for a really, really long time, about 7 minutes. And in doing that, they slow down their heart rate, and everything kind of slows down in order to preserve the oxygen in their blood. And then when they resurface, take a deep breath, and then everything kind of gets back on track. And that's one of the things that makes otters such good predators, is they can be underwater for quite a while they're looking around for different fish or mollusks. So Dantu is who is chomping on some food from that wobble enrichment, and Athena just walked up behind him. Now these two, I said earlier, are a mated pair, and they really enjoy sharing things with each other. So Dantu will on occasion bring over food items to feed Athena. Athena gets her fair share, but then Dantu also feels like it's his responsibility to help feed her as well. You can see they're both hunting crickets right now. So in this pile of shavings, we do have some live crickets, which is one of their diet items. These guys would eat natural bugs and stuff in their natural environment. And so we're giving them an opportunity to hunt different bugs like crickets and mealworms. For those of you guys that may be just joining us, welcome to our Asian small-clawed otter exhibit here in the Natural Encounters building at the Houston Zoo. You're getting to see our two otters, 14-year-old Dantu, who is our male, and 5-year-old Athena, who is our female. And right now they're both getting to explore some really fun enrichment on their exhibit. So they've got all different types of fish in that hanging bamboo. And then in this pile of wood shavings, they do have some crickets that they get to hunt as well. Now, as you can see, Athena, she is climbing. So otters are actually really good climbers, and they can jump around and climb different rocks and kind of low-level trees as well. We had a question come through that how much will an otter eat in a day? And that's a fantastic question. An otter, like these guys, our Asian small-clawed otters, they can eat about a pound-ish of food in a day. So we make sure we have an entire animal nutrition department here that partners with our veterinary staff to make sure that all of our animals get a really varied natural diet, similar to what they would get in their natural environment. And so these guys get a wide variety of fish, different shellfish, and bugs as well. So we rotate different fish items that they get. They can get herring, capelin, smelt. I believe they get trout, catfish. They also get different bugs and shellfish like clams and mussels. So being river otters, these guys do spend a lot of their time on dry land. Even though they're great swimmers and they will spend a decent amount of time in the water, they do spend a lot of time on the dry land as well. When they're setting up their natural territories, they do tend to use scent marking in order to do that, which means that the family group will actually latrine together. So they'll all use the restroom in the same area just to kind of mark the different points of their territory to let other otters know that this is their space. Here at the Houston Zoo, we do have 3 different species of otter. So we have, of course, our Asian small-clawed otters here, which are the smallest species of otter. We have our North American river otters, which we would consider a sort of medium-sized otter, and they are native to the Texas area. You can actually see them here along different rivers throughout North America. And then we also have our giant river otters, which are native to the Pontonal area and can be found in our Pontonal exhibit. So we've got the 3 different small, medium, large varieties. So when next time you're at the Houston Zoo, please make sure to see all of them. They're all very active and very, very fun to watch. We're going to go ahead and say goodbye at this point. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to meet Dantu and Athena. Please join us again next week for our next Facebook Live. And we hope to see you soon here at the Houston Zoo. Everybody have a great day.